Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to Ignition Time. The Senate hangs in the balance right now. On your screen, you'll see an article that was published on the Wall Street Journal, and the headline of the article reads, "The Senate is in the balance." Chuck Schumer reveals what's at stake in the Georgia runoff races. In fact, let's take a look at what Chuck Schumer said, and I want you to watch this, I want you to hear it, and I want you to judge for yourself. Let's roll the tape.
Now we take Georgia, and then we change the world.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Mr. Schumer?
Now we take Georgia, and then we change America.
So let's be clear, where do things stand right now? Right now, the Republicans and the Democrats have 48 Senate seats each right now. Keep in mind that in the event there's a tie when it comes to decisions within the Senate, the Vice President-elect in this case, Kamala Harris, would serve as the tiebreaker. But right now, it's projected that the incumbents, the Republican incumbents in North Carolina and Alaska, they're projected to hold on to their Senate seats. So that would presumably, assuming they hold on to their seats, which is projected, that would bring the Republicans to 50 Senate seats and the Democrats to 48. And then you have the important Georgia Senate runoff races, which take place on the 5th of January. So what could potentially happen is if we have 50 Republican seats in the Senate, and then we have 50 Democratic seats, assuming the Democrats win Georgia, which, by the way, is why you heard Chuck Schumer say, we take Georgia, we take the world. If we have 50 and 50, the Vice President, Kamala Harris, would become the tiebreaker, which then would give the Democrats to pursue the agenda that they want. In fact, a single vote can make a big difference because Republicans would lose their committee chairmanships and then Democrats would be able to set up their own committee chairs and take advantage of agendas. There could be all sorts of nominations. Elizabeth Warren could be in charge of banking. And in the words of the Wall Street Journal, I'm going to quote the Wall Street Journal, Bernie Sanders would run budget, which means a squeeze on the Pentagon. Sherrod Brown of Ohio would run banking, and Miss Warren would run the financial institutions subcommittee. Have fun, bankers. In fact, let's watch an interview with Bill McGurn, who's one of the Wall Street Journal columnists, on Fox today, and see what Bill had to say. Let's roll the tape.
Second, if you look at the people in the Senate that would likely get these positions, Bernie Sanders, Ron Wyden, Sherrod Brown, these are not wallflowers. These are not retiring people. They meant what they said, and they're going to get some of it through if they get the Senate. There is a little dilemma for Joe Biden. He had a lot of support from Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. Some of them, they might be looking for cabinet positions, but because they come from states where there are Republican governors, they would likely be replaced by Republicans. So the president might prefer they stay in the Senate. But if they stay in the Senate, they're going to chair very important committees that have a lot to do with our taxes and spending. So that's why, I think keeping Mitch McConnell as majority leader would restore some balance.
What about the political ramifications here? Because even, Bill, if they pick up one of these Georgia seats, then the Republicans will still have a very slight majority. Mm-hmm. But then you have wild cards like Susan Collins in Maine, Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, to a certain extent, Mitt Romney in Utah. And now you have this kind of fine line where you don't have the pad that you had of 53. You've got a very narrow margin, and a lot of these things come down to the wire.
Yeah, well, I think in that case, I believe that a President Biden would probably get his court picks through and so forth. But on some of the others, I'm not sure Mitt Romney is going to go for all the spending and so forth, or even Susan Collins of some of the Green New Deal and so forth. Remember, the spending is really out of control. Even Joe Biden, as a candidate, criticized some of his fellow Democrats for their unrealistic assumptions about spending. So again, a lot depends. I think if the Democrats take the Senate, a lot of this stuff will go through, no questions asked. I think if the Republicans hold the Senate, they will be able to not necessarily just block everything, but temper some of it and work out a deal.
You touched on the Wall Street Journal op-ed. I want to put a little bit more of it on the screen. Quoting here, consider the Democrats poised to run key committees if they organize the Senate. Bernie Sanders would run budget, which means a squeeze on the Pentagon. Sherrod Brown of Ohio would run banking. And Miss Warren, Elizabeth Warren, of course, would run the Financial Institutions Subcommittee. Have fun, bankers. Bill.
Right. Listen, most of them supported Joe Biden. So, they certainly would be getting what they deserve on this. Look, people are policy, right? And these people have very definite positions. They believe their positions. And if they take the Senate, they're going to see themselves as in the position to get things done, the things done that they promised. So the question is whether Joe Biden, I mean, in the case of a Democratic Senate, the question is how much Joe Biden would want to push through and how much they'll want to push through. But, Mr. Biden so far hasn't really pushed back. He hasn't shown that he's willing to really push back in a substantive way. So it's going to be a fight either way.
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. Lastly, Bill, I just have to ask you on the breaking news, this Pfizer, this vaccine, 90% accuracy, effectiveness. You look back, if this announcement had come out 1 week ago today, does it affect the election at all? Last thoughts.
I think it would. I mean, the margins are so narrow. But look, I'm a Notre Dame fan. I've watched a lot of games where you say, God, if they completed that pass, or if the ref didn't call it out of bounds when it was in bounds, I mean, that's part of the game. And it's just woulda, coulda, shoulda. It doesn't really help anything. But I do think that it would have made a difference because COVID was the leading issue against the president, and he was accused of making up stories saying that a vaccine is around the corner. And now we see that it was.
In fact, the stakes with the Georgia Senate runoffs could not be higher, according to the Wall Street Journal. By the way, I'll provide you with a link to the article in the description section below, so you can definitely check out this article for yourself. According to the Wall Street Journal, Democrats could pass a budget under reconciliation rules with 50 votes plus the vice president to make it 51. This can include spending and tax measures, and most of the Biden plan would pass because Democrats want the revenue to spend. Keep in mind that even if you have an evenly split Senate, it is technically a Democratic majority because the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris would be the tiebreaker. So the stakes could not be higher. In fact, I'll quote directly from the article. Mr. Trump and his allies should also keep the Georgia Senate runoffs in mind as they fight legal battles over the presidential race. A bitter end attempt to state legislatures to override state ballot counts and awaiting electoral college votes in the state of Georgia could backfire with voters who otherwise would vote for divided government. So it's a very, very delicate balance in Georgia. In fact, the control for the Senate, what the article is implying is if the battle is very divided, this could end up backfiring on the Trump administration. And here's the important part. According to the Wall Street Journal, Mr. Trump's future influence will diminish if he costs Republicans the Senate majority as he leaves the White House. The stakes could not be higher. This is just incredible, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I just want to be clear to all our viewers and subscribers. I'm a citizen journalist. I do this because I want our viewers and subscribers to have fair and balanced news. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm American. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you learned something new from this video, please consider sharing this video with friends and family. Also, please click like. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications because that really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time.